Hey up me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome to the Hermit's Cave. Just about to be 8 o'clock. There we go. There's the bongs. Wow, 20 people in and chatting. So hello to everybody who's in the room. Hope we've all got a cuppa. So the Delos Tarot won. And I'm just going to do the collective high because we'll be able to chat more on Saturday when it's the Cuppa Catch-Up of Cards. And I did say last week that I might not be able to do a Cuppa Catch-Up of Cards this week because of the event. Obviously, things have taken a dramatic turn this week and all events are cancelled if they're over 10 people. So, yeah, so I won't be having a stall this weekend or doing reading. So Cuppa Catch-Up and Cards will return on Saturday at 4. And that's where we can just have kind of more of a chat about things. So this is the one evening a week where we have a focused hour and we just look at an old favourite deck that you guys have been voting on. And you voted. We had a lot of votes, and it was the biggest response. No, not the biggest response, but the biggest. The biggest response for one deck. So the Delos Tarot went up against the Napo Tarot, and the Delos Tarot won with 82% of the vote, compared. No, I've said that wrong. 72% of the vote compared to 28% of the vote. Maths was never my strongest subject back in school. So hello to everybody who's here. If you do need to catch my attention, please do pop it in capitals so I can see it. Look, I've been prodded and injected and all sorts today. But it's very warm. I will stay focused, but if you do want to catch my attention, you want to talk about the Delos Tarot, you want to ask questions about it, share your thoughts about it, how you work with it, then either capital letters or start it with at the Hermit's Cave. That would be great. And I can see we've got lovely moderators in as well to keep the room and you guys nice and safe. So I said it, I always try and give an hour maximum because a lot of people like to watch this series back. I'm not sure if it will actually take an hour tonight because there's no book, no big fancy box to talk about. It's really just going to be about the cards and what we think of the cards. And I love this deck. Every time I get it out and I use it, it just makes me smile so much. And I really enjoyed the last couple of days once I knew it would. I think I've known since I put the vote up that it was going to win because it was just miles ahead than the other deck. But I really have enjoyed the last couple of days working with this deck again. Hi Simon, what would you recommend for a tarot book? Luna, if we're talking about a bog standard RWS, which this is a RWS clone, it follows very closely to the RWS, and the book is obviously in Korean, so it's not. I can't read Korean. I don't know about anybody else in the room. Just go into my shelf here. I would probably, I always recommend. And this is an older version now, it's been updated since, but the Tarot Bible, mine's all battered because I learnt with this book. I learnt the keywords first and then I learnt the phrases, the key phrases. So for instance, for Six of Swords, which is the boat, going across from choppy waters to calmer waters, the keywords is new perspective, recovery and travel. But key phrases to learn are like moving away from trouble, getting over difficulties, heading on to better times, having to change location, mental or physical journey, leaving the past behind, beginning to feel more positive about life. So it gives you some really good key phrases, but then you get your interpretation as well. So I just think this is a really great book, and it's not just about the cards. There's all sorts in the Tarot Bible. There's spreads, there's combining with crystals. It talks a little bit. It don't go into depth, but it talks a little bit of things like Kabbalah, astrology, and all things like that. Numerology. So it's great. And at the moment in the UK, these are like £5 from the works. If you buy them new, well, this was £12.99, but this was back in 2008. I think they're about £15-16 now. But at the moment in the works, most of the Bibles, and I'm not talking of the Christian sense, I've got Crystal Bible, Psychic's Bible, Spells Bible, Wicca Bible, and Tarot Bible. They're about £5 from the work, so they're really, really good. Have I frozen? I'm frozen on my laptop. Let me just see if temporarily blind. I think Simon got it from playing cards. Well, are we talking about the 2.0? Yeah, and I'll show them on Saturday, whoever's asking about the 2.0, because I've modified them, I've trimmed them and edged them. But for tonight, we're just going to be talking about the Delos Tarot, because, as I said, people like to watch this back and just want to see what the things... It's just like if I did a recorded video and I called it the Delos Tarot. People don't want me showing other decks or talking about other decks, so... good now. Yeah, I wonder why that was. Hope it keeps buffering, but you keep coming back in. Oh, I wonder what's causing that. Okay, well let's hope for the best then. So, Delos Tarot by Lam Lam. Now this is the second edition. I did once have the first edition. I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but I don't have it anymore. But a very nice friend, and that person knows who they are, replaced it for me. But by then, the second edition was out, and it was the only one that was available. The only differences, really, from what I could work out, is, and this is a card that's left from and there's a little pinprick there, because it was on my notice board, is the original had a lovely matte feel, whereas these ones now are glossy, and the backs were a little bit different. That's the backs of the original, whereas this is now the backs of the second edition. So they added these colours, but the difference is matte to like a gloss. So that's the only difference. So I have the second edition. As I said, the whole book is in Korean, so it's not, I can't do anything with it. But as I was just showing there, oh, there's a hermit's cave. There is just a lot of traffic. There's just a lot of traffic. Oh, as to why it might be buffering. Yeah, internet traffic. Yeah, possibly. And I kept the little note in there from the person who sent it me. I do, even though this is just a tuck box, it's nothing to shout about. I really like it. So we have the Death card on the front, and we have the High Priestess on the back. And it just tells you the Delos Tarot, etc. on the sides. But when you open it up, look at this funky black and white stripe interior. Isn't that great? And the little flaps have these little white cat. Now the little white cat is really significant in this deck. And there is a game that people play, and I think we should play it tonight. I think we should have a bit of fun. Is to see if we can spot the little white cat. And sometimes the cat appears big, but it's not in every card. But she likes to make an appearance throughout the deck. Love this deck, but my 7 of Wands has 8 of Wands. has 8 wands. Can't get past that. Oh, I haven't spotted that. I wonder if mine has then. Mind you, I kind of like it if it does. Hi, Simon, I have a question. The RWS 2.0, who are they published? You get it from Make Playing Cards, the 2.0. So if you have a look at the video that I put up for the 2.0, it's got the link and everything in there telling you exactly how to order it. Okay. So, yeah, box is nice. It is just a tuck box though, but it is, as somebody said, quite funky, and I like these little extra bits. So that's that. And yeah, so as I was saying, something like the Tarot Bible would work really great with a deck like this, because it is basically a RWS clone. So any book that gives interpretations for RWS would be great to use with it. Have you ever made your own deck? No, I've not actually made my own deck. No, is the short answer. We'll leave that there. So yeah, the backs, I don't know, what do you think? I think they're really nice. I think they're nice and colourful. And this deck, you know, does have fae, mermaids, you know, kind of otherworldly sprites and things like that in it. And it's really nice. I mean, the thing that I like most about the Delos Tarot, and if Becca's in the room, it will please her as well, is just the use of colour. It's really got some really strong, bold colours in it, and it's really, really nice. But, you know, what I like is it's kind of like a children's storybook in card format. And it is childlike, but what it's not is childish. Okay, and I think it's a quite important distinction, because whilst this deck, I believe, and you know, just my opinion, can be used for inner child work, wounded child work, it can be a little bit cheeky, a little bit fun, a little bit mischievous. It is a serious tarot deck, you know, and it is not childish. And I have heard people say, oh, you know, I don't like the Delos, it's too childish. I don't think it's childish. I think the images are very simple and childlike images. It's almost like, you know, if you had, it's like the world of toys come to life. In the same way, I was going to say in the same way as Nicoletta Ciccoli, but I don't mean the decks are similar, because they're not. But you know how they are dolls? People often thought they were children and therefore got very upset by some of the images, but they were dolls. This is kind of like a children's illustration book made into a tarot, and for the child within all of us. It's not necessarily aimed for children, although I think it would be a great deck to get certain children of a certain age. Mandy says, I've never seen this deck before. Is it indie? Is it still available? I believe so, and I will add the link and everything afterwards. The creator is Lam Lam, and it's on Etsy, I believe, the Delos Tarot, or that's certainly where I got it from. I don't know what edition they're on now. Might be interesting to find out, but yeah, it's, as far as I know, it's still available. The backs are an interesting colour. I like Nicolette. Yeah, I like Nicoletta. She's a great artist. All right, so shall we have a look at this deck then? So as I said, it's very RWS, but there have been some tweaks, some liberties, some additions, as well as subtractions, but it's generally, if you can read with an RWS, you'll be able to read the Delos Tarot, I feel. Okay, so let's have a look then. Here is our full card. And again, you know, the colours are so rich and bold, but there's everything. I mean, we've got a female fool. She's swinging a little handbag behind her. But again, instead of the dog, we've got the little white cat. Instead of a little white dog, we've got a little white cat. So that will make an appearance. Oh, thank you, Elle. I'll put a link to the Etsy shop. Oh, here's Becca. She's there. So, hi. So is it still available from the Etsy shop? I'm assuming it is by the fact that you've put a link there. It is bordered, but then, you know, so is the original RWS. Cardstock is okay. It's not the thickest cardstock, but it's all right. And it's quite durable. It flicks back into shape. Great for riffle shuffling if people are a riffle shuffler. The backs aren't bordered, as you can see, they're borderless. So it's quite a modern take as well. You know, you've got this little fool, she's skipping along with her bag, but the little cat is there as well, which appears, like I say, throughout the deck. What I like about this deck in particular, you know, if you're working with a deck that's quite heavy, what do I mean by heavy? So a deck that's quite intense, something like, I don't know, Mary L. And you might work with quite a heavy deck for a period of time. When you pick up a deck like this, it just feels quite light and it has a different sort of energy to it. And it's nice to do that from time to time. And I've been using RWS quite a lot recently. You know, I've been playing with my Carol Hertzer deck. And, you know, I've been looking at the Hush Tarot because of the collab channel we're doing in a couple of weeks that we're going to be reviewing it. And it was really nice to just pick up this and have a different sort of vibe, different sort of energy from it, and have a little bit of lighter feel. So here we have our Magician card. And even though, you know, the guidebook is in Korean, because this deck's from South Korea, all the titles are in English. But I really like this. I love the hat, the stripy hat and the matching kind of outfit. Attend meetings. Attend meetings. What did Jen say? Oh, your job description says for you to attend meetings. You're going to be in and out, are you, Jen? Yeah, we've got this lovely red colour and the flowers poking up. Hats are cool. Here's our High Priestess. Don't forget to look out for the little white cat. So you can see it's very RWS. You know, you've got your B&J columns. I like the addition of these kind of patterns behind her. You've got the crescent moon. Reminds me a bit of the Modern Witch Tarot. Really? Oh, because, yes, the Magician, I suppose, with the hat. I see what you mean with that one. Yeah. Love the Empress. Look at the Empress card. There's a little cat laying across the lap there. Love the waterfall. The deck's adorable. And it kind of reminds me that someone's just got like felt tips. You don't used to do those colouring when you were little. It just looks like, you know, felt tips been used. White cat, says Elle. She spotted it. Here's our Emperor. Kind of reminds me of like a Lego man. And I love the colour energy behind them. You know, you've got that Emperor sort of fiery orangey colours, but you get the beautiful nature with the Empress. Hats and cats, I'm in, says Tycon. Elle's not shouted it. He's laying across the treasure chest, look. Saying he, it's a she. The Hermit's Cave. Do you mind showing the back? Sorry if you already did. Yes, I can do. So that's the back of it's reversible, of the second edition. And this is the back of the first edition, if you can still get it. And the difference is this is matte and these are glossy. I would love to get the first edition again, but I think they go for quite a bit. The Hierophant. And I don't know what program it was, but when I was a kid in the 70s, there was a children's program that used to be shown daily, and I can't think of the name of it. I'm not sure if it's something like Mr. Ben or something like that. But these kind of faces and images remind me of the characters that were in this children's program when I was little. And every time I pick up this deck, no white cat, every time I pick up this deck, it reminds me of that program. Nakedness, warning for our lovers card. But isn't that sweet? Isn't that adorable? Look at our little cherub there. The use of colour is brilliant. Yes, Mr. Ben. And is it Mr. Ben? Because I remember Mr. Ben, but is it Mr. Ben I'm thinking of where they were kind of drawn in this same way? I remember he used to go into a tailor shop and he used to be, Mr. Ben was like a bowler hat wearing office worker, and he used to go into this shop, like a fancy dress costume shop, and whatever costume he put on, he went into that world. No, I've got it. It's come to me. It's come to me after 3 years of, I think, of having this deck. The program I'm thinking of is Bod. Does anybody remember Bod? Here comes Bod. YouTube it. Seriously, YouTube Bod and listen to the opening tune. I remember it, says Amanda. Yep, it was Simon. Oh, I know Bod. Yeah, here comes Bod. Oh, isn't it strange how it can just come back to you in a flash like that? So there's the chariot, which I love. And the horses are like toy horses. You know, the ones you used to play on. So this is just, like I say, it's like the toys have just come alive. And this is their world. We've entered into their world where toys are alive. Now, Pob. No, not Pob. Bod. I don't know what Pob is, but definitely Bod. Elle, are you ready? Because the little white cat is quite hard to spot in this one. So you need to really be looking. Look, it's the strength card. Hey, Julie. Isn't that just the cutest? And you know how lots of people don't like the gaudy yellows, as I've heard it be called, in the RWS deck. The way they do them here, we do get those strong blank colours, but they do have kind of shading. It's like not a solid colour. And it's not coming out that well on camera, but it's like darker and it's patchy. I'd say it's like it's been done with felt tip, but it's really nice. White cat, she got it. Love the Hermit. Although there's something really, I don't know, is out of proportion, isn't he? Look how thin he is at the top. It's when I looked at it at first, it looked like part of him was missing. And it almost gave the illusion that the night sky was kind of engulfing him. It's like a cloak around him. But it's not, it's just the way it's drawn. But look at that sky behind. Ooh, Hermit, says Michael. Oh, Mitchell. Hi, Mitchell. Just realised it's you then. Gorgeous, isn't it? Bit skinny. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Almost looks 3D. The red in that card is so vivid. Does anyone remember the children's books? Mega Mog, yes. The Witch and Her Cat, yeah. I love it. And we've got little Bod. Bod in the middle, look. Here comes Bod. You've got to look it up. Justice. Beautiful purple. The Hanged Man. I love that it's in keeping with... You guys are really behind me. I've just looked down at the iPad, which is what you're seeing. Might be because it's stuck, didn't it, for time. But I've just looked down and I was doing that with a card, and that was a couple of minutes back. Love the... See, your comments, love the purple. I'm on the death card already. Now, we do get 2 death cards, which I quite like. So we get a very traditional RWS type of death card, but then we get one that's almost like an art card, and it doesn't have the title because, you know, the Fool is without number and Death is without name. So they give you this one as well, which is really cool, and it just says 13 on it. And I love the contrast of this beautiful purple colour, as you know me in purple, against this dark, kind of menacing blackness. But then if you want to stick with a RWS traditional, you can, but it's got the title on with Death. Oh, the unnamed one is brilliant. Yeah, so I like them both. However, when I just went to put the deck in order, in the back of the box was my little white book and my note. This card was tucked behind it. So I'd obviously made the decision about 18 months ago when I got this deck to just work with the RWS one, because I put this at the back. But it's a shame not to use it, isn't it? Because it is lovely. The second deck card is the original design, yeah. So clearly, when the deck was re-released, they wanted, obviously, feedback about having something a bit more traditionally RWS. I would imagine. Just seeing if there's any comments. Nope. Temperance, really colourful. Look at the water. And the sun just setting in the sky. Really nice. 1 foot on the stone, 1 in the water. Time to bring it forward, Simon. Time to bring it forward. The Devil card. I love how they're wearing masks. Can you see? The other 13. Oh, okay. Simon, that is the cutest. I love the colours in this deck. Yeah, Elizabeth, I do. I really, really love the colours. The Tower. Trick or Treat. Here's our Star card. White Cat masks. Yes, and a fox. We've got Fox and the White Cat. Well spotted, Al. 10 points for Elle. But, you know, it's really traditional, and she's naked, but there's such an innocence about it, isn't there? And just look at the sky. I love that sort of rough texture. Love the moon card. We don't have two canine creatures, although they have tails of like a wolf or a fox tail, which is really interesting, isn't it? And they've got the little ears. You what? We've got the little crayfish. Love the crab. Yeah. Look at the sun's face. How happy is that? And that's more traditional RWS, isn't it? With the two boys. Not RWS, Marseille. I mean, it's more traditional Marseille with the two boys. Judgment. One of my favourite sun cards, says Gilly. And interestingly, just going back to the sun, there is that sash, isn't there? You know, like in the RWS sun card with the one that gets a lot of criticism, the naked baby on the horse with that kind of sash. It's still there, but it's linking them together. Hi, Brant. Simon, can you go back to the moon card? I can. There's the moon card. So this is one that I was talking about. So even though they're children, they've got the ears and the tail, and look how the hair matches the fur of the tails. So it could even be the same. No, it's not. One's female. And he's wearing like a tie, and she's got a dress on. Why black on sky, moon card? It's just to give that dramatic texture, you know. Do you ever look up at night, just before it's really dark and the sky goes that colour? The clouds appear black against it, don't they? And that's how I see it, you know, that cloudy, dark night. You're welcome, Gilly. The sky's almost a vortex. And here's our world card. Which is really nice. All right, so that's the majors. Oh dear, that was nice. I needed that. Let's have a look at the minors. So here we have our ace. We've got this little, kind of like a little fairy, little sprite type creature dropping a coin into the cup, which is a nice touch. Hi, Jen. I really like that. The RL, spot it. Simon, you got a new bucket cup? No, I've had this one ages. This is the one I got from Glastonbury about, well, when I went 18 months ago now. White cat, yeah, instead of the lion head. But look, because it's our lovers of the deck, the two of cups, look at the kind of crisscross love hearts, almost like a checkerboard of love hearts. It's beautiful. Our 3. This deck is so cute. It is cute. Love the 4. The 4 of Cups. It's just such a lovely variation, a lovely take on the RWS. I love the 3 different kind of stripes. It reminds me when I was a kid and my dad used to lawnmower the garden and he used to do it up and down in stripes. And you used to get those stripy effects on your lawn. But the blue of the sky and everything is really lovely. Got a red sky there, look, for the 5. Six of Cups is a little bit different, isn't it? I like it. It's got the same sort of message. I mean, this is just in the foreground more, but we've still got that kind of engraving. Seven. Sorry, I just got looking at your comments then, trying to make head and tail of your conversations. 8 of Cups, I love that. And they've done that, look, just like in the original. That kind of eclipse. Beautiful colours. And whilst I prefer the cardstock of the original, the one thing about having it on the gloss is the colours did seem bolder, because on this, where it was on matte, they don't stand out as much. Do you know what I mean? So, for instance, you know, the colours stand out more, but the cardstock felt nicer, because that feeling of matte cardstock is really nice. But anyway, it is what it is. He got buns, hun. This is one where I like the border and the gloss better. White cat. I was waiting for that. Where? Is he? She's even wearing the little hat that the RWS guy wears. Ten of Cups. Look at the page. I love the water behind. The stripy water. And the little fish jumping out the cup. Yeah, I love the borders and the gloss seem nice. They do. But the cardstock is thinner, with it being, you know, it's quite, but it's good. It's not, I didn't pick it up and think, you know. Look at the rainbow. And again, the horses are just like toy horses. Our queen. Adorable deck. Yes, Elizabeth, I think you're right. Hermit's Cave is so simple and clear images, cartoonish, but so RWS, simple to read though. Yeah, and you know, there's everything there. Well, I'll say everything. Not everything's there that's in the original RWS, but there's enough there. And if you were a young person and you was given this deck and it appeals to you more, and you learnt with this deck, it wouldn't be difficult at all then to go to a RWS deck, one that picks his artwork. You know, if you learnt with this as a young person, you'd learn RWS for life, wouldn't you? And then we're on to our wands. We've got the ace. This one's head on the top. But look at the little smoke going up as well from this little palace with its turrets. The Pringles man. 2 of Wands. You know, you've got everything there. The 3. Every single wand has these little heads on them. 4. People heads. And we've got all different people here, look. We've got the Pillsbury Doughboy. We've got like, oh, what do they call them? Not cavalry. I used to have to wear a uniform like that when I worked at Make an Adventure. With a button across tops and the stripe down the leg, side of the leg. I forgot what they're called now. The American people in the room should know. Begins with a C. 6 of Wands. Got the high horse. 7. Yeah, one of you Americans. They're all scratching their heads thinking, I don't know what he's going on about. It's not Confederate. It's Calvary? No, not Calvary. That's a place in Canada. Oh. Anyway, love this card. Look. Taking a letter. Is it Cavalier? The American people have all given up on me and gone. No bloody clue. I will find out. I'll speak to somebody I used to work with at Make an Adventure. We all had to wear them as uniform. And they buttoned across, all the way across, and you had that hat that they're wearing there. And on the trousers, there was a stripe down the outside of the leg. Boy Scout. No, something to do with battle and soldier type thing. Teach us some US history. Marching band. I give up. It might be Cavalier. Confederacy. Calvary Side. Anyway, moving on. Let's enjoy the cards. Now we've gone to a black cat because it's more in keeping. But I'd have loved to see the white cat there. 80s new romantic. Yes, that type of thing, like Adam and the Ants. It was 33 years ago. My memory's fading. Oh, a little. Oh, did we have? Oh no, we're not there yet. I thought we'd passed Pentacles. Let's have a look because it'll upset somebody. Yes, it's there. The person who's usually here might not be here tonight, but they always look for something in the 9 of Pentacles. And if it's not there, here we have our swords. Back in the good old days, yeah. And I can still remember the theme tune that we used to have to sing. If you remind me, I'll do it at the end, but not during the cards. Look at the sky in the 2 of Swords. How dramatic is that? And we talk about dramatic skies in 2 of Swords and in like the 2.0, but that one really nails it. Yes, I think it is to do with the American Revolution. Jackets with gold bars. Yes, that go across the front. Yes, Jamie. And the trousers had the stripe down. That's very dramatic. Cadet style pants, possibly. You said Adam and the Ants and I could see it. Thank you. Four of Swords. And I love the image in this stained glass as well. We are still here. Civil War, Union soldiers, but what were they called? It began with a C. Packs. I don't love that. Love the choppy waters and the calm waters and the colours. Look at this. Proper white cat woman look out. Confederacy. Confederate. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? As one of my suggestions. White cat, full white cat. She's really working it. She's even got the tail, look. Love the Eight of Swords. Rhett Butler. Look. Isn't that cute? White cat. I bet you've got that on cut and paste, haven't you? I hope you have. I hate to think of you typing it out every time. Kind of dramatic. I love how they've done the sky going in phases. The page. Knight. The Queen. I was typing it out. It feels more authentic. Oh, more of an achievement. And then our last suit is the Pentacles. And this Ace of Pentacles, I think, is absolutely beautiful. Just look at that in the centre. Really gorgeous. Everybody's still going on about this. I really started something, didn't I? Nobody's focusing on the deck. Oh, what are you going to shout now, Elle? Don't you just love that, though, for balance? It's brilliant, but I've got no idea why she's a white elephant. Yeah, there's a white elephant. But it's great. And her outfit. Four of Pentacles. No loo rolls in this one. I love the five. It's so dark. And all you've got lighting up is the window. You called out the Americans. I only asked for your help. The 6, 7, 8. And I always imagine, every time I've seen this card, I always thought it was inside in like a workshop or something. But in this one, you can see a little township in the background. So completely shifted my perspective. I always saw the 7 as somebody working indoors. And now I need to look at all the others. 9. And I love the little bird on the hat, look. White cat. And white bird. Just sitting there on top of her head. Very brave coming that close to a cat. I love the 9 of Pentacles so hard. I think that's going to be one of your favourite cards, isn't it, in the tarot, Jen, for obvious reasons. The 10 is so clean compared to lots of 10 of Pentacles, which can be really busy. We get the details of things like inside the shields. It was before, but then it jumped up a notch. Was it before? I never realised that. 9. 9. Page. Knight. Look at that horse. That looks really menacing. Doesn't it? Love her throne. And the little rabbit. Oh, and I meant to say, in the... Talking of the 9, there is the snail. Can you see just there? It's probably a little bit blurry, but there is a snail. And I know there's somebody in my chats who always likes to see the snail. Pretty sure I'm the only one that got the last deck offered for sale on Etsy. Really? What, just, Jamie? Have you just got it tonight? Yeah, the white bunny. Really cute. But I love her throne. And I love the king's throne as well. But look where he's keeping his foot down. Keeping it under control. That's an awesome throne. Yes. Oh, wow. Well, I'm sure they'll put more up. So there we have it. That's the Delos Tarot, 2nd edition. What are your thoughts? Do you like it? It's not a deck that is shouted about a lot, to be honest. I thought everybody knew about it. But there's not a lot of videos up on it. You know, there's 2 that I've done because obviously I had the 1st edition and then I did a video when I got this edition. So... White flying cat statue. Simon, does one of these just fall in love? Does one of these... Simon does one of these. I just fall in love with these decks all over again. Yeah, but that's the whole point of Throwback. Because YouTube is full of new decks, unboxings, walkthroughs and reviews. But how often do we go back, unless we're doing a tag or something and people say, you know, what deck do you like for such and such? But how often do we go back and just look at our old favourites and have the opportunity to reconnect with them? And that was the whole purpose for Throwback Thursday, was to be able to do that, to not forget about some of our beloved decks. And for me, I get from once I know which deck is going to win, then I get to play with them from Tuesday night to Thursday night. I had passed this deck up way back, really. And do you regret it? I think that's something else, you know, those decks that we regret giving away. Patsy did a video in the week about Oracle decks that she'd gotten rid of and kind of regretted it. And I think we've all done that, haven't we? I'm so sad. My favourite metaphysical shop closed its doors and now is not likely to renew their lease. That was up in April. I know so many businesses are going to the wall, aren't they? Simon, it's unique, but not a deck that moves me to purchase it, says June. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, another good thing, isn't it, that why we have things like YouTube and people reviewing decks, because you can get caught up in the hype, but if you step back from it sometimes and think, actually, will that add to my collection? Will it add any value? Will I work with it? How long do I think I'll work with it for? What will I work with it for? And then we can kind of make that decision. So it's not all about seeing everything and thinking I've got to have it. We make that assessment about how often we'll work with it and stuff. I started collecting back in 1972. Wow, I bet your collection is amazing, Claire. I find it hard to pass decks on as I have regretted this. I've ended up buying decks again that I've passed on. I just have, but that's fine because sometimes as well, I will. The only deck that I've passed on that I never want to see again, no, that I don't have any desire to get again is the English. I've even forgot what it's called. Oh, the one that's kind of like comic book with the hands on the back. I forgot what it's called now. The English something. It's got like a code in it. English Magic. That's it. The English Magic Tarot. Really didn't like that deck. Really didn't like it. I just gave it away. Said if anybody wants it, let me know. And somebody said I'll take it, and I just sent it them. And I've got no intentions of getting that one back. But it's cute, but FOMO deck buying. Well, FOMO can be a real thing if we don't kind of step back from it and really look at it. I was 20 years old. I never counted all of my decks. Do you still have them all, Claire? Yeah, that deck is adored. I'm glad, Melissa, I'm not the only one, because people are like, really? You didn't like it? It was paper thin. The borders on it was horrific and just changed. And it was just that sort of comic book illustration and all these weird writings and codes in it. I was like, don't like this deck at all. So it was at half price books. Can't imagine why. Kelly Bear's a fan of that one, isn't she? I don't think so. Kelly Fitzgerald is. She loves it. She did a whole series on it, I think. My original RWS was thrown out by the cleaning crew. I would be mortified. Anyway, guys, a couple of minutes left. Here's me. We won't be on for an hour. Dan, I don't know if... Are you still in the room? Are you still thinking of doing a live? Let us know if you are. And I'll tell you about next week's decks. So, obviously, the Napo gets one more go. So, it will go up next week. Still here. So, are you going on, Dan? Is that your plan? Is that your plan, Dan? 9:15. Okay. So Napo Tarot against the Line Strider Tarot, another classic. So I'll pop them up. I said, didn't I, last week, and it took me 2 days. I remembered on the Saturday. I thought, let's go and have a look at how the voting's going. I forgot again, so I'm going to do it straight after this. Line Strider or Napo for next week. If you weren't here at the beginning, and now will be here on Saturday for Cup of Catch Up and Cards because all events are cancelled in the country and most of the world. So I won't be having a stall, so I will be here on Saturday. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're about and you want to hang out with us in Dan's channel, Epine de Vale, in about 15 minutes for his live, then I will see you there. And until next time, go in peace, namaste, and blessed be. Take care of yourselves, stay safe.